what's draining our, the majority of our petroleum money, or the petrodollars, they have been called in the past. We started in the first jump of for the oil, and as you know, in the 70s. In 1971, 72, the barrel of oil was selling for $3 or so. It jumped after the 73 Arab-Israeli war, when the embargo started at that time, or was supposed to take place, and was spearheaded by Saudi Arabia for reasons known at that time. And it caused the jump of the price of oil. It went to $8. Then in 1976, it went to $14, and it kept escalating until in 1978 it reached $35. And then we're talking about oil from $2 to $35 jump within a few years. So that was called the era of the petrodollars, and we really had them, and that's the time we had heavy pockets, and that's the first transformation of the people and the country. We start putting a lot of infrastructure, building a lot of infrastructure in the country. To a lot of people, the planning was not done well at the that first time around, and therefore the infrastructure really did not carry us further. Now, the population of Saudi Arabia is a young population. The average age is does not go beyond 25. The average age of the population, and so you need more roads, you need more housing, you need more things. But the planning in the 70s wasn't done well. The second time around, where the oil went from $19 to $140. There were lots of, in the last 4 years or so, there was a lot of windfall, we call it, from the price differential of the oil. I think we are doing a much better planning this time around, and therefore we don't have very heavy pockets right now. We have a lot of debts have been paid. We were something like $600 billion in debt, the deficit, and that went down to less than $40 billion now. So it's quite a jump, and because we're trying to make for what we have lost in the last 20 years since the first windfall of the oil. We had per capita at the time in 1979, we had per capita GDP was about $8,000 to $9,000 or $13,000 per person. We went down from $13,000 to $6,000 in 2000. And now we're picking up, the GDP is picking up, and we're going with the rest of the world.
But I want to come back to culture, because in the past, the culture of Saudi Arabia was essentially in the Hijaz, that is, say, the western part of Saudi Arabia, which borders the Red Sea, that is Makkah, Medina, Jeddah, etc. Right. And that is where poetry used to be written. But now the center of gravity of Saudi Arabia has been shifted out of Jeddah into the middle of the desert in the Najd, in Riyadh. It is like shifting the center of gravity of the United States from New York into Omaha. Why did you do that? And what is the advantage and what is the significance of such a major shift of the center of gravity of Saudi Arabia?
Okay, forgive me, let me just go, Doctor, for the rest of the audience to explain about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was a country it became the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in the 20s of last century. It used to be sultanates, as a sheikdom. The Hijaz province was controlled by the Ottoman Empire for many years. After that, when the British came in, the Hijaz area, which is Mecca and Medina, the two holy cities, were controlled by the Hashemite kingdom because of their claim to saying that we're descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. Now, after that, King Abdulaziz in the beginning of the 20s, on the 20s of last century, he took back his father's land, which is the Najd province, and Riyadh, and after that he started uniting the kingdom until in 1929 it became the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So, and let's not go to the poetry part of it. It's the Arab world who was, from Baghdad to Damascus to Cairo to Saudi Arabia. The old poetry that started a long time ago, it's no longer, because we're shifted into more of the technology of the world and more advancement. Now, why did we
from poetry to money?
To money. That's well put. The point is, when the kingdom shifting from the importance of the Hijaz to the Najd area, that was done by virtue of where the royal family is coming from. It's centered in the center, and the capital of the country is in the center of Saudi Arabia, and that's why the shifting came down. Now we go along with what you're saying. Why the shifting? It's like shifting New York to Omaha. And we recognize that hopefully this is relaxing more, and we are being distributed or distributing the population and the power among the whole area of the kingdom.
Okay, let's come back to oil. The problem of oil is that it used to be $147 a barrel, and it's down to $47 a barrel or less. Now that's a major fall. In a country which is 90% or 95% dependent on oil revenues, it changes the whole picture in Saudi Arabia. How do you adjust when 95% of your income collapses from $147 to $40?
That's a good question. It's the adjustment is done with the planning. If we do a good planning, the adjustment would be easy. What we have done, we were always conservative of what we put the price of oil is going to be. In 2004, or 2003, we had it as at $25. We did not per barrel. When it went up, we didn't go the same level or the same percentage of our estimate, because we estimate what are we going to have in income next year. If we underestimate it, then it becomes a windfall if the prices shoot up. And we kept tracking the planning for the price of oil. And last year, the highest we put our planning to was $65. We have never really exceeded $65 expectation from a barrel of oil. And then we were selling it more. Now, when it came down to $45, we're still not very far from our estimate or planning. And therefore, we estimate conservatively, so when we got hit very hard, and this is only in Saudi Arabia. I cannot say the same thing for the Gulf area, because they were going with the planning, and this is what happened in Dubai. When people started thinking that the price of oil was never going to go down below the $100, they were wrong, and the suffering is more, even though Dubai is very small. If we have estimated the same estimate that